Hello everybody and welcome back to TCR. My name is JB and I'll be taking you through tonight's proceedings, and my apologies for it being such a delayed start to the stream. We had some topsy-turvy technical rubbish that caused us to really struggle with starting the stream, but we're here finally streaming to the TCR channel. Tonight I will be streaming on my own, so be ready for lots of talk about helmets, spanners, and how I don't have a sparkly companion with me today, which is very disconcerting. Ooh, oh well. But before we do anything else, let's look at the qualifying order here in Belgium. And the big news is that Seafreeze actually made contact earlier on with, I believe it was Toaster at the corner we're about to come up to Pouon. Toaster was spread across the track, and suddenly Seafreeze couldn't do anything and made contact with him. That ended both their qualifying sessions. There's been a few drivers out of qualifying today, but we're coming on board with Go-To-Guy, the number 43 Haas, trying to put his stamp on the authority, currently in P9, trying to improve on that time. Joe Breezy, though, is our current pole sitter, and I believe he might be on chance to be taking pole position today, as he is just a margin quicker than everyone else, 2 or 3 tenths quicker. On board with Go-To-Guy down as he powers down towards Blanchimont. Coming through Blanchimont now as he cuts to the left-hand side. Look at that, left-hand down, the 43 car powering towards the chicane. Very comfortable, very solid that car's looking as he comes out the chicane. Very, very strong on the power. Joe Breezy retiring, and Go-To-Guy does improve to P8 rather than P9, but is immediately relegated. Oh, is immediately almost beaten by Kyoshin. Here's Talon in P5. He's going 2 tenths quicker. Is that enough in the final sector to be dethroning Joe Breezy? It doesn't look like it maybe, but it is enough to dethrone his previous teammate of Steve Freeze. Okay. Let's have a look at the drivers' standings, and after last week's chaotic crash-filled race in Baku, let's have a read. Seafreeze taking the championship lead by count it, 1 whole point from Joe Breezy in P2 after he struggled in the streets of Azerbaijan. P3 is the race winner of Azerbaijan, Dougie Falcons, who is in P3 in the championship. Then Go-To-Guy is in P4 ahead of his teammate Zandamar, who's in P5. Talon is in P6 ahead of Fatal, who's in P7. R12 is in P8 and Kyochin is in P9, drawing with Damaso, who is relegated P10. Outside top 10, Kurz is in P11, excuse me, ahead of Secret, who's in P12. Toaster is in P13 ahead of Doff Van Hoist, who's in P14. Bliss is in P15. Kev is in P16. Mick and Professional are signed on P17. Be Good Fever is in P19 and Giant Johnson Alex is in P20. The Constructors' Championship still hasn't been wrapped up, but as we're coming towards the final 5 races of this season, the business end of the season is starting to kick up here in TCR. Haas are leading McLaren by quite a margin, but Toro Rosso are there balancing against their championship rivals in P3. The same points remaining for those two. P4 is Red Bull, P5 is Alfa Romeo, P6 is Williams, P7 is Ferrari, P8 is Renault, P9 is Mercedes, and P10 is Racing Point. Okie dokie. So, this is Spa. We love Spa, and it's one of the tracks which I never want to commentate on my own. But at the same time, it's a track that I really enjoy commentating on my own because I can jump through the field. You're going to see some furious commentary tonight. I have been informed down by the sparkliest of all McLaren engineers in the form of Jones that we are going to be having a wet race. So it's going to start off dry, end up wet. As Jones said, don't think of that the wrong way. But then again, it is lockdown, so what else are you going to do? So we're just now gearing up, getting ready to start all of it up. A couple of drivers readying up already, and we'll go through the grid on the formation lap here in Spa, and we'll have a chat about this glorious racing track, which is fantastic. And I really think it's going to be interesting to see Seafreeze, who I believe it's had minimal practice in this race, going to have to battle through the field in P3 against drivers like Talon and Breezy, who we've seen have got some remarkable speed. So let's run through the drivers and their positions, tyre compounds, and what have you at the start of the race. Joe Breezy is starting from pole position in P1 ahead of Talon, who's in P2. C Freeze is in P3. That is a name that you don't want to see in P3. Freeze 3. Ooh. P4 is Professional, P5 is Damaso, P6 is the Red Bull pairing of Dougie Falcon ahead of Secret, so those two are going to have some fun. We saw Red Bull have a big mare back here in Season 8. No, it was Season 7, sorry. Back in Season 7 when Giant Alex Johnson got thrown into the air in Rouge and Radion. P8 is Go-To Guy ahead of Kjelchin, who's in P9, and P10 is I-Roll, who seemed to suffer in qualifying as well. All of those drivers are starting on the soft compounder tyres, so they'll be looking to make an impact at the start of the race and hope there aren't many safety cars to begin with. Mick is in P11, the first driver on new fresh rubber with the medium compounder tyres, ahead of Zandamar, who's had a very poor qualifying for the Canadian in P12. He's also on the medium compounder tyres. Toaster, who was involved in the contact with Seafreeze, is in P13 on the medium compounder tyres, ahead of Be Good Fever, who's looking to have a good race. He had a good race in Baku, but it just sort of fell away later on. He's in P14, ahead of his teammate, the reserve driver of M9. The other reserve driver failed, the golden driver in the Renault, is on the medium compounder tyres in P16, ahead of Kersey, who was penalised in P17. Fatal is in P18, and Doff Van Hoyst was disqualified for blocking the pit lane. He's going to line up in P19. So those are your 19 drivers, your gladiatorial contenders tonight for 22 laps around one of the greatest circuits in Formula 1. And it's going to be wet. Oh, it's like Christmas all at once. I'm so excited. And I've got my coffee. I'm incredibly excited. Get ready. Things are about to get loud. Normally at this time I'd ask Jones or whoever I'm on commentary with who I'm expecting to win the race. I am expecting to win the race. I still think Seafreeze is going to have some pace in him today. We shall see what happens. But the rain comes. Rain is the greatest equaliser in motorsport and in Formula 1. So Toro Rosso lining up in front of many cars, but behind Alfa Romeo, and then a McLaren sitting on pole. McLaren not shy about winning here in Spa. Waiting for the green light to flip onto the red ones. So 5 red lights of racing, and they're out, and it's a great start from Joe Breezy in P1. He's trying to cross and defend for Talon, but Talon's dropping back. Seafreeze is going to try and get him on the inside line now as they head into Eau Rouge and Radion on the run down, and it seems that Talon is just ahead, and everyone seems to be behaving as M9 drops down, and they're all going nuts as they all come through Eau Rouge and Radion. Remember, this is going to get even better as it gets wetter later on in the race. Lap 1 here as they run onto the Kemmel Straight. Everyone seems to be very behaving. No, M9 in trouble. M9 facing the wall. Oh, and it's been joined by Doff Van Hoyst, and safety car deployed on lap 1. The top 3 remain as of unchanged, but Secret has passed Damaso. M9 with a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Doff Van Hoyst. Safety car deployed, and that's a big help here in Spa. So let's have a look, because these two were on the alternate compound. It doesn't seem like M9's got much trouble on his front wing. He does have a bit of end-plate damage, so I wonder if the Mercedes lost it on the curbs, just positioned the car wrong, trying to follow the pack, and ended up meeting the Alfa Romeo Sauber of Doff Van Hoyst's front wing, which obviously is something you really don't want to do come turn 1, but at the same time, at least the game registered that that was a safety car condition. Could have been a virtual safety car, but who knows. Let's see if anyone's made any progress through the field right now. Let's see. So we have biggest move is Dougie Falcon. Biggest move actually Fatal right now. So Fatal moving up 2 positions there, and it seems that well, that's insane. It's almost like they wanted me to get an ad read in, and yes, let's get an ad read in, because did you know that TCR is sponsored by Fanatec. Well, we have a Fanatec affiliation. So, after all the YouTube gubbins is done, check out the description and we will have a look at getting you set up with a brand new Fanatec steering wheel. I think, as we see the professional pit, I think a portion of the cost of the wheel then goes towards TCR to make us get all new shiny toys, otherwise known as the golden guys, to have nice golden trophies. Utter rubbish there, but the TCR deal is not rubbish. I honestly really like the Fanatec wheels, and if I have the time and the energy, I would be out there with these guys trying to do it. But at the same time, I was relegated to a commentary role for a reason. Obviously, oh hello, we've got some chopping and changing. What's happening here? Go-to guy passing eye roll. As eye roll, oh, no damage on eye roll, so he hasn't spam. So eye roll just getting comfortable now as they need to get ready to do a restart in a couple of laps time. Obviously, we have the joyous fun of oh. You know what? Before I managed to get the stream up on the TCR channel, I defaulted to go onto my YouTube channel, and I just got a bot on my YouTube channel. Go, great video! It's a 3-second long clip of a stream, like that's it. And he's like, great video, like really cool. It's like, wow, bots on YouTube have got terrible. Anywho, I don't think the safety car hasn't screwed up Duff and M9's race 100% yet. Yes, it's such a long track, which means I can catch up so much quicker, which is absolutely fine. But the thing I have with all of this is that, judging by the tyre compounds we're looking at now, I think we might be seeing some rain sooner rather than later. I think we'll see some rain around about lap 9. Lap 9 would be lovely to see some rain. So Joe Breezy now following the TCR sponsor safety car. We'll see what can happen as we get ready to go back to racing. One more lap though behind the safety car. Intriguing. We didn't have a safety car in lap 1 in Baku, and now we do. And yet, all 19 runners are still going, and that's great. I always love to see 19 drivers still going here in TCR. Trying not to sneeze right now. How are you, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat? Let's see on the YouTube chat. We're not streaming on Facebook today, but on the YouTube chat, how are you today? Do apologise as I just mute the mic for just a moment. Return. So how is everybody here in the YouTubes? I'm alright. I didn't sleep very well, but you know, that's what you do. Nonetheless, tyre compounds, fuel, this is all going way out the window. And engineers, like Jones, for instance, who is engineering with the McLaren team, super sparkly Jones, hasn't changed his hair dye, so he's still got bright gold hair. Just utter rubbish coming out of my mouth tonight. He's going to try and work out what the best time to pit is now. Obviously, they're all on the soft compound tyres. I think they're expecting to be running on the extreme wet tyres, which are the blue tread tyres, which clean much more. I think they clean about 60% water, or 60 gallons of water a second, I think. Don't quote me on that. So I think we'll be seeing them, judging by the tyre choices, we might be seeing the bright blue tyres come out on the cars potentially later on in the race, but obviously no rain as of yet. We know the safety car will be coming in, I believe, this lap. We should be getting the call in just a few moments' time, coming up to the end of Sector 2. Oh, it's raining! It is raining here in Spa, so the rain has come down on lap 3. That can seriously mess it up as we're getting ready for a safety car restart. I believe as we cross the timing beam in just a moment. Whoa, that looked a bit slippy from Joe Breezy as he tries to kick up the rear end, try and get some tyre heat in the back of these cars. It looks like the safety car will be pulling in this lap. Once we cross this line, we shall know. Do we know? Yes, the lights are off on the safety car. Joe Breezy effectively becomes a safety car now as they run round towards Stavolo and passing the house where I'm secretly doing commentary from. Hello. See them weaving, chopping and changing. Look at how close Talon's getting to the back of the McLaren. Oh, that was quite disconcerting. As they all come slowly crawling up Blanchimont, looking for a time to drop it. Joe Breezy is still holding, still waiting. Is Talon looking to pounce upon the McLaren? Is Joe Breezy going? When will he drop the power? And he goes back to green flag speed now as Joe Breezy drops it. Absolutely flying. Caught Talon by surprise right at the end of the corner. Talon now under pressure from C3's. Still no green flag, remember, so the drivers cannot overtake until as Kilchin gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. And now to green flag racing here in Spa. Dougie Falcons looking to make a move on C3's, choosing ever so slightly not to make the move. Instead, he wants to push on as hard as he can to pass the junior team as the rain starts to fall. You want to have clear air in this rain. You want to be in front. And Dougie Falcons through a Rouge and Radion. He's going wide, cutting Radion. And the Red Bull gonna have a little bit less speed than the Toro Rosso this time round. Through onto the Kemmel Straights. Everyone firing down at full power. Their V6 is absolutely singing through the forest here in Spa. Whoa, Talon almost getting it totally wrong there in the Alfa Romeo as he skims up over the curve, losing the rear end and skipping onto the gravel. Flicking the car back though. Well done to him for catching that as they come through towards Pouon. Where is it going to get the most wet the quickest? As you're looking at Sequit now on board with the Red Bull driver. Had a great run in Spa until a late contact with, I believe it was Talon, which unfortunately ended Talon's chances of a strong result. As it's very much pack racing right now. It's like racing at Michigan in IndyCar as they're watching, still on board with Sequit, who's trying to find his way past his teammate. Whether there's been multi-21 orders involved, we don't know, but I very much doubt it, because Dougie Falcons likes to race. So we try and keep an eye on everything that's going on here in Spa as they come through to chicane for the second time, under racing speed for complete lap 4 of the race. On to lap 5, and Joe Breezy is a faster man on track. No, C-Freezes instead. C-Freeze trying to pummel in the time after his unfortunate qualifying accident. Oh, we may have a move further back. That's the professional. He's looking to the inside of Kersey. Kersey, who's doing his best to just move up the field as best he can as the rain starts to fall and the pack is just as long as you want. Small break, behind R12, and then it all goes crazy. I love Platinum, don't you, Flying Jufo? I adore Platinum. There we see Damaso getting close to the back, but failed is passing Toaster. Toaster having to bail out, and the rain pouring here in Spa. It'll be only a matter of time before we see the intermediate tyres coming into play. Who is the better wet weather driver? As you see, there's a mistake for what seems to be fatal as he tries to go around the outside of Kersey. Kersey on the inside, he's going to feed him out wide, and this isn't really an overtaking opportunity. And he does bail out of the move, and the Racing Point further back is going to try and overtake him as well. Red Bulls fighting each other. There's the Racing Point of the professional being passed by Doff Van Hoyst. So well done to Doff, who came back from a lap 1 collision. Let's take a look at the next closest battle, which I believe is actually just ahead of us. Fatal and Kersey. These two going hammer and tong here in the Williams and the Toro Rosso. They all come up. C-Freeze trying to get past Talon, his previous teammate. That's what we can see on the map there as they come through towards turn 1. Look at that, Kersey and Fatal so close. DRS has been enabled here, and Doff Van Hoyst being passed by the professional. What a move there from the professional round the outside. Oh, and that's a bit unfair. A 10-second time penalty for that is a bit naughty. That's not Doff's fault at all. There is a gap of 1.3 seconds at the top of the field, and the professional braking into turn 1, going absolutely mental on the brakes there as they run down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Is he brave enough to try and stick it up the inside of Eau Rouge? He chooses not to. Ooh, bit of lag in the lobby from one of the drivers. Sector 1, it's Be Good Fever in trouble. He's in the wall. The Mercedes facing the wrong direction. Kilchen leaving the session. Mick being passed by Failed. The Renault swapping positions now as Be Good Fever gets the car restarted now as he heads further up. And Talon is passed by Seafreeze. Seafreeze making an opportune move there towards turn, I believe it was X, which was, I think, turn 9. Kilchen has rejoined us now as they head towards Sector 3. And Joe Breezy, 1.7 seconds ahead of the Toro Rosso. Times are going to start to stumble as the rain falls here in Spa-Francorchamps. Kilchen now fighting Go-To Guy. Oh, those two ever so close together. What a wonderful piece of racing there between the man who just disconnected. Oh, and that was close, and well done to Go-To Guy for not cutting across his nose. Well done to both those drivers there. They were very mature in the way that they were driving. It seems that Talon's pace is starting to drop as we look at the Alfa Romeo dropping further back now towards Dougie Falcon's clutches. Oh, Dougie pitting though. What is the Red Bull going to go on this time round? We'll hope to see. I believe, no, surely it won't be intermediate tyres this early. Let's stay on board with him until we get to the battle and see what tyres they're helping. They are the Greenwald intermediate tyres being fitted on the Red Bull as we look at the professional trying to get up on the inside of Fatal. Is this going to be a fatal move? No, not yet. So Dougie Falcon making the first call now and Damaso's following him in. So Jones ordering the McLaren teammate, the McLaren team number 2 driver of Damaso to pit. And look at this, close to the wall. Oh, Dolph Van Hoyst, ever so brave as he tries to pass the professional on the outside. Toaster dropping behind Kersey. Toaster's in trouble. But 3 wide here into the at the end of Les Combes. And who's going to come out on top? It is the professional ahead of Dolph Van Hoyst, ahead of Fatal. Well done to those drivers for being very mature along the Kenmore Straight and into Les Combes. So all the drivers trying to balance these conditions. Dougie Falcons and Damaso going to pit lane, calling it early, trying to work out what the trying to work out whether it is time for these tyres. Dolph Van Hoyst though, right on the back of the professionals to come through Pouon now towards Sector 2. Be Good Fever with a time, Be Good with a time penalty of 3 seconds to add to his finishing time. Obviously, if that's unjust. Oh, hello, we've got a spinner at his head. We'll see if we can catch it. It's Secret. Secret's in trouble. I believe that yes, it was a problem for Secret, who has dropped way back now from his teammate, dropping behind. Oh wait, no. I apologise. I think I've missed out on who that was. Here we go. I've turned into Chris Camara there. So the gap's all starting to form now as the as drivers start to struggle. Failed into pit lane alongside Zandamar, alongside Secret. So drivers now being called into pit lane. It doesn't seem like the top 2 have been given that call yet. Are they struggling? So the top 7 have not pitted. No intermediate tyres as of yet. First Toro Rosso to pit is Kersey. He's looking to improve, currently down in where he qualified in P17. Damaso has done well. Dougie Falcons. Damaso has done well to now split the Red Bulls. Look at the speed. So Damaso on fresh rubber versus Secret, who's just come out of pit lane. Well done, but who's got the quicker speed now? Is it going to be Secret in the Red Bull? It looks to be Secret. No, crikey, that was a quick Red Bull. The Honda engine really giving him a good bit of poke there up the Kenmore Straight into Les Combes. I remember like 3 names of the corners at this track, and I always forget. As we look at Secret now, trying. Whoa, little mistake there from Failed in the background. Let's catch up with Dolph Van Hoyst, who's also on the slick tyres. He races professional now as they're looking. Zandamar passing, Failed. So focus upon all fronts. Dov van Hoys focusing on trying to pass the BWT sponsored car, the Racing Point in front. Whoa, running up on the curb, almost getting it wrong. Dov van Hoys is not letting this go. He's driving that car like he stole it. Let's hope he did not. Enthralled by the action as we see the leader finally pits. Joe Breezy into pit lane. C3 is also into pit lane. Does Talon follow their men or do they do one more lap? No, one more into pit lane. Top 3 in. Sector 3 yellow flags. It's Mick. He's in trouble. He's facing the wrong way. So Mick's going to have to trundle back up. Dougie Falcons with 3 second time penalty for possibly cutting Blanchimon. And in the pit lane, who is the leader? It seems to still be Joe Breezy. Joe Breezy rolling out now. There, the 24 back out. Another 10-second time penalty. That's a bit harsh. I failed to see how that would have been a 10-second time penalty. The same as I believe it's Kelchins on lap 1. Oh, sorry. Whoa, Toaster going for the full wet tyres. Is he trying to undercut everyone right now? He's under serious pressure though from Begood, who seems to be flying at a rate of knots right now. Go-to guy dropping back. Let's see if we can get a camera on the Canadian. Oh, and that's in the wall. DRS has been disabled as people are now filing round the outside as Go-to guy is trying to find a reverse gear, trying to get a gap at all. There's a gap. He's going to reverse out and spin up the tyres. The 43 car back up to racing speed, hopefully, as he makes sure he doesn't take out the Red Bull that's coming. There's Secret. There's the Renault. They'll be told of a slow car. Well done to Go-to guy. Remember, ghosting is off here in TCR. So always, apart from street circuits, we have ghosting off, which is great. It takes in a whole element of danger, which I really enjoy in TCR racing. Let's take a look at our current standings though. Joe Breezy in P1 ahead of C3, who's in P2. Talon is in P3 ahead of Kjelchin, who's done very well. He's in P4. Dougie Falcons, the early pitter, is in P5 ahead of Damaso, who's in P6. R12 is in P7. Xandamar is in P8. Feld is in P9. And this man Kersey, who we've got on board with right now, is in P10. Let's catch up with R12, shall we? Our favourite Captain Quebec in the Ferrari. His helmet reminds me very much of Mick Schumacher's helmet. Let's go to guy passes Mick. So Mick dropping back. Closest battle on track actually seems to be the Mercedes of... sorry, not the Mercedes. The... Trying to do this on the map is very disconcerting sometimes. It's Kersey fighting with Failed. There we go. So Kersey, obviously no DRS now in the cars. All based off the car's slipstream abilities. And in the wet conditions, that's going to get even worse. They head onto lap 10. Heading towards the halfway point of this race. One more lap to go. We'll hit that halfway point. 150 car down. What more can we see as C3 is trying to pass Joe Breezy? That's my one audition for a rap. It wasn't very good. Please don't turn me into a rap sensation. So right now we see Kersey trying to pass Failed, who's doing a great job at reserving. This is a great statement to the Platinum drivers saying, listen, I'm the championship leader in Golden. I might even be crowned champion at this point. And look, I can race with a lot of you. Look at what I can do. I can race with you guys really well. Let me come up next season. And I believe we'll see Failed in the Platinum class next season. Obviously, don't quote me on that, because next season's still 5 weeks away from even discussing it. And the championship still isn't done here in Platinum. So the rain pours, the track gets greasier and shinier, and the grip changes. This is a completely different race car, especially at Spa. It's a completely different race car now to how it is in the dry. The drivers are going to be pushing as hard as they can. As Bega's in trouble, the Mercedes seems to have made contact with the wall, I think. Yeah, there's damage on the front wing. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with Secret's car as he comes through. Secret is going to have to do a monumental job if he wants points today. Currently in P17, it's such a long track in Spa. As we hear the engine note dip of the Honda as Kersey tries to get past on Failed, and Failed sat in the middle of the road. There's a little bit of contact there and he bumped him off. Now Kersey failed with a time penalty for cutting the corner. Kersey dangerously rejoining. I would class it as dangerously from that angle. And Professional having to slam on the brakes. And the Racing Point may not be happy about that. Now, I would deconstruct that situation, but it's very, very easy to work out what went wrong there. Kersey just following on. I believe he just missed his braking point just a little bit. And just poked the rear tyre of Failed. Failed then took across the escape road, which is absolutely fine, and then was awarded a really quite harsh penalty, which was just nasty, just a plain nasty penalty. And Kersey rejoined the track. Whether dangerously or not, if I could have replays, I would look. But yes, it seemed that it didn't go as well. That pure moment there for the battle for P9 in the race, as he failed, dipping now as he's trying to struggle now with his intermediate tyres. Toaster into pit lane, changing out those wet weather tyres, trying to get onto a different compound tyres. I believe we'll see him onto a set of intermediates soon. I don't think we'll be seeing the extreme wets at this moment in time, as we are halfway through this Grand Prix. Dolph Van Hoist with more time penalties. I can't remember if he's got any more. I would look, but on the stream, I don't like to bring up the race director, because it spoils things. Kersey seems to have the pace on Failed. That's what I'd say right now. He seems to have the pace, but it's Failed's racecraft which seems to be doing better. But Fatal! Oh, Failed and Kersey bumping and bashing through Blanchimont. Who's braver? It's a brilliant move from Kersey, as you see Professionals taking to the AstroTurf to try and overtake the Renault 2. And Failed, whoa, he's almost made an absolute dog's dinner of that chicane. And you see Failed in the space of 3 corners being passed by 2 cars. And I don't think that's any different to the fact that it just happened. The rain is coming down. Hello, Connor. Yeah, Kersey did well to get through there. As you see, Dougie Falcons now losing a couple of attempts to Kjolchen. And if you're just joining us, no, I'm not just talking over my cold commentator tonight. I am on my own. Hello, my name is JB, and I'll be taking you through tonight's proceedings. Here in a very wet weather Spa, and this is going to be a very interesting race, as the gap currently at the top is 3.7 seconds between Joe Breezy ahead of Seafreeze, who's in P2. Talon is in P3, trying to look for retribution after last week, where how cruelly his podium was taken away from him. That's your podium. Your points are looking very entertaining right now, as Failed, the Golden Driver, just dipping out of it after a monumental scrap with Kersey. And Kersey, he had the straight line speed in the corners. Sorry, not in the corners. Oh, there's a Williams in trouble, and that is Kjolchen. And he's going to have to find a gap. Oh, the penalty he's going to get for this is going to be insane. Not from the TCR stewards. Oh, he didn't get one. Huh. I guess he did not gain time, but Kjolchen dropping back down the field now. I'm alright. Thank you for asking, Connor. I have been worse, I have been better, I'm just alright. But always happy to see TCR. Look at the rain coming down here as they head towards Blanchimont. These intermediate tyres can take a hell of a lot of beating though, and whether we'll see the intermediate tyres become the extreme full wet tyres, as you see Kersey become a rally driver there, dipping his wheels off the track. Professional closing closer to Kersey in the Toro Rosso. Kjolchen into pit lane after 3 laps on his tyres. I mean, there'll be damage for the front wing. And the number 2 racing point, or one of the number 2 racing points, normally there's 2 of them. I believe his teammate's missing today, Giant Johnson Marks. As we see, whoa, left hand down, failed retiring in pit lane. I mean, with the amount of penalties he had, he was going to be finishing at the back, and that's unfair for Failed, but hey, I'd start singing That's Life, but my singing is that bad and make it rain. Oh wait, it already is. So the Sector 3 yellow flag is just for Failed, and Failed UX has left the session. So Renault down to 1 car that's currently in P13. Mick is going to have all the rests of the Anglo-French team as we look upon professional Canadian driver here, trying to get past the American of Kersey. They all come through. These corners are never ending in the dry, let alone in the wet when the speed is so much slower. Let's get someone else on stream that we haven't seen for a while. Let's have a look at let's see how M9's actually handling these conditions. The Golden Driver, come up to say hello. How are you handling these conditions, Mr. 9? He seems to be very controlled in the Mercedes. His teammate is currently behind him in P17, so M9, who was also on track for a great finish in Baku, seems to be struggling here in the wet conditions at Spa. The gaps are well and truly in force today. Lap 14 out of 22. C3 is in P2. Let's have a look at him. Championship leader by 1 point. If it finishes the way it is right now, he will lose the championship lead by a number of points. Failed joining us in the YouTube chat. That was unlucky, mate. It really was. We do see a picture though of Kersey. Let's have a look at Kersey. What's he planning on doing? They look like the extreme wet tyres going onto the Toro Rosso. They are the higher tread tyres of the extreme wets. He's the first driver to go on these apart from Toaster, and Toaster ended up switching off these. Is it a gamble? Has C3's made a call with France Toss saying, swap him. We want to see how he does on these tyres. No, it looks like a few other drivers are doing it too. Go-to guy, Mick, M9, Sequit. There has been a call from Jeff to say, get on the extreme wets. Get on them now. Drivers are now struggling on the intermediate tyres. Good gravy. What fun is happening? So as we're focused on looking at the Masso, he's looking to pass Dougie Falcons and the rain is continuing down. This is phenomenal. Honestly, the control these guys have. Remember, none of these drivers are running any assists barring racing line. Obviously, next year in TCR Season 10, we will be having a look at the no racing line on the 2020 Formula 1 game. That will bring a whole different challenge to races like this without any racing line. Damaso is looking to... He has the gap though. I reckon his teammate will be able to pit this time round and get out without getting in the way of his teammate. I think that's what he's doing right now. The little lift off there is Damaso. Whoa! Very brave running into that inside curve at Blanchimont, the number 15 car. C3's carrying on though. C3 carries on, and the McLaren are double stacking, so drivers are choosing not to come in. It must be a choice right now, and C3 is saying no. I can control the car on these intermediate tyres, and he wants to make up for a poor qualifying. Good catch for the champion-elect. Well, sorry, the potential champion. The other potential champion is in the form of Joe Breezy, who's just come up through Rouge and Radion. And look at the grip difference. I believe that they have made the right call right now as Dougie Falcon's dropping back. Fatal with a time penalty in pit lane. Easily done here at Spa. Very easily done. The pit wall is quite nasty. It sticks out quite well. Could be worse. Could have Lando Norris sat in the middle of the pit lane. Oof. I know I'm bad. Here's Secret. He's looking to pass M9 for P15. Getting closer than the Red Bull light behind the Mercedes. And I think that C3 has made the wrong call today. If he can gap, he might be able to salvage something. But I think Dougie Falcons and C3 have made a serious mistake not coming in for those full of wet tyres. Do apologise. Alfa Romeo having a good drive right now. Joff Van Hoyt, who was disqualified in qualifying, is in P6 ahead, just behind his teammate of, wow, the speed they're carrying through Rouge and Radion is insane. Just ahead of his teammate, of Joff Van Hoyt. Here's Kersey, he's starting to get closer up. He's doing well right now after qualifying. Further down, I think in P16 he ended up qualifying because he was told not to qualify for this race after being penalised. I believe that's right. So, it seems that he's just made a little bit of a mistake there on the curb. And looking at the 27 car? Was it 28 car? Let's try and get an eye on Kersey's number. Won't get it in the fast corners. Into turn 1, we might just get a look at it. I should learn the numbers. 25 car, I knew it was 20 something. Dolph Van Hoist with a time penalty for exceeding track limits. 5 seconds. Oh. Rarely see a 5-second one of those. Damaso getting closer and closer to the back of Kersey. Remember, Kersey was one of the first drivers to pit for these tyres. There's damage on the straight there. Seemed to be a shard of carbon fibre, which obviously in the wet conditions you can't see. Real life, if you ran over that, your tyre would be absolutely cream crackered. But tell you what, who isn't cream crackered today? It's Talon. He's going to have his claws in P4. He wants to pass the professional who's on the green intermediate tyres. It'll be a different. This is a good race between two different tyre compounds side by side on the wet tyres. It seems that professional just edging out, and there Talon with more grip. Look at the grip difference there. He just driven around him. Little twitching from the steering wheel of professional, but he will have to concede that position. It seems that these tyres are really out of their depth right now. Still, they're doing better than I ever could. Let's drop down and look at Secret, who's close to M9. And M9 letting him through. I think, I don't know how I feel about that. Could be wise, could not be wise for M9. I think M9 might be struggling, so he's taking the optimal choice to just say, like, go through. I'm having a learning experience right now in these wet conditions, which is easily done here at Spa. Let's keep our eyes, though, on Kersey and Damaso. They're close together, 5 steps to the second. And you see I-Roll. He's rolling it close to Dolph Van Hoist. And then you see another tyre problem here of Dolph Van Hoist on the Alfa Salva running the intermediate tyres. And he's just completely clogging up the racetrack. I-Roll trying up the inside here. That's surely not an overtaking move, and I-Roll does have to brake and shift down a few times to make sure that he doesn't clip the rear tyre of Dolph Van Hoist. Dolph Van Hoist, let's hope he isn't pitting this time round as I-Roll goes up the inside now. And Dolph was not, if he was pitting, he wasn't getting to pit lane that time. And Dolph being pushed down. Look at that. Look at the difference in tyre compounds. And that's why the wet weather tyres, the extreme wet tyres, the blue tyres, are the best choice in these current conditions. 3 cars passing Dolph Van Hoist after he lost grip into the chicane. The gap at the top is under half a second, as Joe Breezy now comes close to the back of C3's. He's got to wait an eternity to get through, or he'll try and shove his nose up the inside here. Remember, Joe Breezy on the extreme wet tyres, the preferred strategy here in Spa at this moment in time. C3's going to go long on the intermediate tyres. Oh, and Talon goes out! Oh no, surely not! Can we get a shot of the car? Oh, no, surely not. 2 weeks in a row. Bad luck for Talon. And safety car deployed. A safety car out for the second time here in Spa. And quite a late safety car call as well, actually. They really called that late. C3's has been handed a free pit stop. And he's going to have to pit now. Him and Dougie Falcons are going to have to pit now and hope that they don't come out in too much traffic. What an enthralling race. Such an interesting race. I'm really enjoying this. And I hope you are too. I know I've not been the best talker today. You know, sort of messing up my words a little bit, flubbing quite a lot. Where's my coffee? There we go. Oh! Secret with a... Was that lag? What happened there? So the drivers came to a stop. Secret with a drive-through penalty for contact under the safety car by the looks of it. Where's Secret? The only person he could have hit was Kjelchen, and I don't think they would have made contact. They've got quite a gap between each other. But what caught me out is I saw the top two seem to stop in the chicane. I was just getting my coffee and suddenly they were there. Joe Breezy. Oh, Joe Breezy has swapped to the intermediate tyres. Hello, B. Hello. How are you doing? So, what an intriguing turn of events there. Joe Breezy and C3's pitted, and they've swapped tyre compounds. C3 is deciding he wants to be on the wet tyres now, finally deciding he wants to be on the wet tyres for the final stages of this race. And Joe Breezy going, no, I'll take the intermediates. What on earth happened there? It has been a while since you've been here, B. How are you? I am utterly... Oh, I'm so excited now to see those two swap, because we saw Joe Breezy had so much more grip on the wet tyres. Is the rain eking off just a little bit? I am utterly enthralled in this race, and I really don't want it to end, but we are coming towards the closing stages of this race. You know what, B? That is going to be the quote of the race. Breezy pulled the Uno reverse card. That was a fantastic situation. So, let's take a look at our current standing. C3 is in P1 ahead of Joe Breezy, who's in P2, and iRoll popping up into P3. Well done to him for 10th on the grid currently. Kersey is in P4 ahead of Dougie Falcons, who's in P5. Doff Van Hoyst is in P6 ahead of Zandamar, who's in P7. Go-To Guy is in P8 ahead of Professional, who's in P9. And Fatal is in P10, the final points paying position. Outside of the top 10, who need to get in there to get points. Damaso is in P11 ahead of Kyolchen, who's in P12. Secret is in P13. Mick is in P14. M9 ahead of his teammate for today in P15 ahead of Be Good, who's in P16, and Toaster, the final runner, who's in P17. Two retirements today in the Platinum class. Talon, after crashing out for an unknown reason and failed, who ultimately could not continue on in the race, which is understandable. He was struggling. Yes, B, I was just saying earlier on in the stream, I'm excited for it too. I'm really looking forward to races like this in the wet conditions at a track where there's multiple lines in the wet. It's going to be glorious with no racing line. Damaso and Kyolchen swapping positions a little bit there. Let's take a look at these two. Oh, okay, that's why. So Professional into pit lane, Fatal into pit lane. Has Toro Rosso made a mistake with the tyre combo? Let's take a look at the Professional pit lane, Professional pits crew of Racing Point into there, and they are the intermediate tyres going on to the Racing Point. What a slick stop for Racing Point. Double stack for the Williams. Oh, and a penalty, but it's okay. The safety car will really help out these guys. Releasing one Williams, and the other Williams will pull into pit lane. Pyelchen is going to be a little bit frustrated at that, but at the same time, hey, there's nothing you can do about it. Come on. Oh, he's got a penalty too. Or is this lag? No, it's a penalty. Interesting that his nose fell off. So the car is released now. So both Williams pitting for the intermediate tyres. Has C3's made a mistake jumping onto the bandwagon of the extreme wet tyres way too late? Was his teammate the trendsetter of Kersey? Was Kersey the trendsetter? The guy who we should have followed early? Questions that we can only ask at the end of the race. And with only 3 or 4 laps to go of this race, I can't wait to ask them the questions. If you have any questions for the drivers of TCR in the Platinum class, pop them in the YouTube chat now, and I'll be sure to ask them, ask the podium 3 who they are. Whoever they are, I'll ask them what your questions were, and say who it's from, because I'm nice. So, Honda, Renault, and Ferrari in the top 3. Then Honda, and Ferrari in the final, in the other 3 positions, the further 3 positions. Safety car should be coming in next lap, I believe. Shouldn't be coming in this lap as he cuts across the timing beam. Do the lights go out? One more lap under safety car conditions, and we'll have a 2-lap shootout. Cut the 3 lap shootout. He'll get this number right. I passed kindergarten. Ask Breezy how many Uno reverse cars does he have, says B. Yeah, I will ask him that if he gets to the podium. I think it's going to be really interesting because it's definitely lightened up now. Earlier it was so much darker, and I wonder if C3 is thinking, I've lost this race. But C3 is Mr. Cool. He likes to defend. He likes to show off when it comes to his defensive skills. And he's going to do very well. I mean, you always want to show off your defensive skills. I mean, myself, as a guy who drives the classic cars way too much, is, yeah, I'm terrible. There's no way to put it, I'm just awful at this game. I'm much better at talking about it. So we see a driver into pit lane, that's M9, who's going to drop down the field a little bit from P15. So onto intermediate tyres. So the general consensus now is that the intermediate tyres are the preferred tyre after this second safety car in this race. The third and final lap behind the safety car. Ooh, Connor saying that he's got Dougie for the race win. That is not a bad shout. And Dougie Falcon, he's the driver behind him. Doff Van Hoist is on 11-lap old intermediate tyres. I don't believe, and this is not a comment on Doff at all, I don't believe his tyres will last him very much, or at least give him enough grip at the start of the restart. But Dougie does have to negotiate Kersey. Kersey, a valiantly hard defender, as we found in Baku. Toaster with a time penalty. Remember, penalties are going to come into it. I know that the top three do not have any time penalties whatsoever. Now, last week, Joe Breezy and R12 came together. Came together at turn 1. I was trying to remember if they came together several times or if it was just once, but it did come together just once at turn 1 in Baku. And now I wonder if a week's past is going to really help these two not do anything silly into turn 1. Remember, you can't win the race at the end of this lap. You can only win it at the end of lap 22. We're only on lap 20. Fatal's in trouble. Fatal in trouble after hitting the professional. Something happened there on the concertina effect. Can we get a front wing look? And there is damage on the front wing. Safety car in this lap though. So Fatal's race has now hit a fatal stump. Now Steve Freeze becomes the acting safety car. And we slowly roll up Blanchimont. Joe Breezy trying to close the gap. Trying to gauge when the Toro Rosso ahead of him is going to go. Look at the cars creeping into screen. Look at the begging to go fast. When does Seafreeze allow his monster of a car to destroy the tarmac behind him? When does he go? He's still going slow all the way up to the bus stop. Is he going to go now? He's still going slow. He's really holding them up. He wants to push Dougie into it. Zandamar with a 5-second time penalty after making contact as we go back to racing here in Spa. Who has the preferred strategy? Is it the championship leader? Or is it the man who's now been relegated to second place after one race? Back to green flag racing here in Spa with 2 laps to go. And Kersey has been passed by Dougie Falcon. Those two are side by side as Dougie Falcon getting shafted a little bit up the track. Now who can get the run? Oh, and Fatal retiring from the session in sector 3. That's fine. Won't affect any of this racing we're seeing now as we run up towards the Camel Straight. And no! A time penalty for C3. Has that ruined the race? Secret of a time penalty. Joe Breezy going to swing round the outside line on C3's. Can he get it started? Those two will not make contact this time as they did last week. And Kersey dropping further back as Doff Van Hoist is now trying to get through. Go-to guy has been passed by Damaso as they run into sector 2 now. What a quality lap that was. No drivers crashing out. Fatal, we know, struggling in these conditions. Dougie Falcon side by side with Iroll. Iroll is not going to leave him any room, but the Englishman slipping past. What a phenomenal drive there for Mr. Falcons. Seafreeze is in trouble as Iroll is in more trouble too. The full wet tyres are not helping at all. Doff Van Hoist has a chance at the podium today. Damaso passing Zandamar. Contact there as the cars make contact and Zandamar's not letting him through. Kersey with a time penalty there and Zandamar dropping further back down the field. The drivers on the full wet tyres are in trouble. And you see car after car after car passing them. C3s with a time penalty. Dolph van Hoyst is in the chance to be taking a podium position here in Platinum. Fatal leaving the session. I wouldn't leave. Kersey dropping further back too. He's in trouble. Look at the line behind R12. There's no traction whatsoever. But for the podium. Dolph van Hoyst cannot make it the inside yet. R12 dropping back. The final lap has begun here in Spa. And what craziness! What a move as Dolph van Hoyst pulls up the inside, which will turn to the outside line, and he does make the move. Dolph van Hoyst to the podium. Oh, and C3's wide. Gonna pull back on the track, stick on the line. Damaso passing him. Professional passing him. The championship leader's day gets worse. It's the M9 in the wall. Go-to guy looking to chuck it at the inside of Mick. He cannot make it stick. And R12 dropping further and further back. Sector 1 yellow flag due to that. What a brilliant race we've got here on the final lap of racing. Cars on the wrong tyres. Cars on the good tyres. And drivers going around the outside like Secret, who's trying to pass. They're trying to pass C3s. Kyochin has passed Go-to guy. And C3s has been passed by Secret now. It seems that today Toro Rosso did not have the better of the Red Bull cars. Mick's going to make it stick as he tries to pass Landemar. But no, Kyochin chucky up the inside there. What an inopportune move for Kyochin, saying, I'll take that position. M9 unfortunately leaving the session. His car is knackered. But what a quality bit of racing we're seeing right now as the rain starts to pick up. But who is going to win this race? We've still got a chance at an overtake as Joe Breezy comes up towards the bus stop chicane now. Into the final couple of corners now. One more corner to go. Joe Breezy was started on pole position, had a battle, and he wins in Spa. What a brilliant race for Joe Breezy. Dougie Falcons P2. And it seems Dolph van Hoyst will be in P3. No, Damaso. It's a double McLaren podium. Damaso in P3. And on penalties, Dolph van Hoyst drops by Zandamar out the race. Kyochin out the race. Go-to guy out the race. Something happened at the end of that race. Oh. Wow. What a race indeed. Joe Breezy in P1 ahead of championship rival Dougie Falcons in P2. And Damaso in P3. Well done to Damaso, Mexican on the podium here at Spa. Here are the results barring any stewards' investigations. I'm not sure if we'll see any this week. It should be interesting. Joe Breezy taking P1 ahead of Dougie Falcons in P2. Damaso is in P3 on penalties. Excuse me. The Professional was in P4 ahead of C3s who clawed back P5. P6 was Landemar. P7 was Kersey. Well done to him for getting up to the into the points today after starting in P17. P8 was Be Good. P9 was Dolph van Hoyst on penalties, unfortunately getting removed. I think he might be able to get a penalty removed there. And R12 finishing out in the top 10 on the wrong tyres in P10. Outside of the points, Toaster finishing in P11 ahead of Mick, who's in P12, Secret in P13. Then come the non-finishers. I'm not sure what happened to Kyochin and Go-To Guy, but they did not finish. M9 crashed at O'Roos and Radion. Fatal, unfortunately, couldn't continue after the safety car. Talon, not sure what happened to him at all and failed. Ultimately decided that he could not continue after an early contact in the race. Whew. Yeah, Connor, I would definitely ask that. That was a phenomenal race. I really enjoyed that. So, obviously, barring stewards' investigations, we will be seeing and chatting to the drivers in just a moment's time. As soon as we get checked out the lobby. It was thrilling. Connor, you hit the nail right on the head there. That final lap of racing was absolutely phenomenal. Let's get the top three in here we got Dougie Falcon. I'm going to do it via here just because it's quicker. Apologies for the screen going blue. As I hear some smoothed out jazz in my ears from my theme. Nice. We'll invite Damaso. Then we want Joe Breezy, who I believe I have on my friends list, but we'll still do it for here. Then we'll get the McLaren up on screen. We have been joined by Dougie Falcon. So we're back to being able to control the screen now. So let's get the car up on screen. Hey Dougie, how you doing?
Alright. But
The first one to join us, so I get a chat to you.
yeah, I mean, like, not properly, though.
I can still chat. Joe Breezy joining us. Hello, Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, that's a happy Joe.
Dude, I am stoked. We got a double podium. Dude, I'm loving it. This was a damn good race.
I tell you what, that really was entertaining. That last lap was really fun, guys. You guys did really well. We have sent an invite to Damaso.
He knows it's coming. He should be on the way.
Cool out. So wait and see, waiting for Damaso to come. We've had a few questions in the chat, which are great. One of them from B, one of them from Connor, which I'm can't wait to ask these ones. Actually, it's for two of you two, but I'll ask you in a bit. Nonetheless, though, let's wait on Damaso, then we'll get everything started. How wet are you two guys right now?
How was the race? Is that what you said?
I said, how wet are you?
How wet are we?
Oh. I don't know how to answer that one.
The correct answer is freezing.
I am quite sweaty, if that's what it means. My back is covered in sweat right now. That was such a tough call to make each time. It was like, is it time? Is it time yet? DRS wasn't disabled. It was just, you just had to go with it. You just had to go. And, especially with Damaso being my teammate and he was up there, we didn't want to double stack. So it got a little tight at the very start of the race, and it definitely put him behind, to go in early. Because I honestly thought I was going to pit that next lap. But it just wasn't ready yet, and you just had to make the right judgment call. Like, it's just one call, and then you're screwed.
Well, you can say that, and we'll start the interviews, and if Damaso joins us, he will join us. Joe, look, the question from B in the chat: on the second safety car, you pitted, and I don't know if you're aware, you and Freeze swapped tyre compounds. So you went from running the full wet tyres to running the intermediates, and Freeze did the alternative. So B has asked him, how many Uno reverse cars did you have that race?
Who? Who?
Joe. This is for Joe.
Oh, Breezy. Breezy,
Yeah.
is he here?
Sorry. Hey, sorry. I thought you were talking to Dougie, but
No,
hey, Damaso did not see the invite. Can you shoot
Did you
him
not?
one?
Sure, I can shoot him another one. Actually, Dougie, do you want to suggest again right now? This is why I get someone else in the interviews. I'm mad right now.
Yeah, Breezy can suggest him if he's friends with him. I don't have him as a friend.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let me shoot it to him.
This is what you get when you have 4 hours sleep at the worst possible time. You just can't, you don't know how to function anymore. Yeah, cool.
It's first podium in a while, so I know he's super excited.
Cool. We'll take off the censorship, so if you guys want to go nuts, just go for it. So, we have sent another invite to Damaso. We'll get him in as soon as possible. There he is.
Hey.
So he has joined us, and just because it's his first podium in a while, shall we start with Damaso?
I think we should. Definitely.
Damaso, coming around the final corner, did you think that this was going to be your podium today?
Dude, I thought I was lost because I got so much bad luck on the pit stops, and I made a wrong call to go on the wets a lap too late, and then the inters a lap too early. So I did not expect this at all. Not a bit.
I almost want to know what the words were when you crossed the line. You know what? Go for it. If it was naughty, just go for it. It doesn't matter.
I don't think I can swear here.
Do it. Do it.
No. I was just so happy, dude. Like screaming, yes. Like I don't know. I don't remember. But I was excited. I can tell you that.
So you had to actually battle this race, though. You had a bit of fun, though. How were the conditions when you were battling through Damaso?
So you mean on the last stint or overall?
Overall.
Well, on the wets, I feel like I had good pace, but obviously overtaking here without the DRS assistance is a bit tricky. But yeah, Doggy had amazing pace too. I couldn't catch him like I would get close like 1.2 seconds, and I couldn't get any more. But then when the heavy rain came, I remember him losing all the time, and I wanted to get past, and I still couldn't. So yeah, the conditions were a bit tricky for all of us, but I'm glad with the result at the end. So it's okay.
So next week you were off to Brazil. Are you looking forward to that track with another high chance potential of rain? Is it another podium for the Mexican Damaso?
I hope so. I mean, I really love Brazil. I really love Interlagos, so I will sure as hell try and do my best and finish on the podium again so I can speak to you.
Are you going to beat Joe Breezy next week? Is the question I should ask.
I'll try my best to do so. It's not that easy, you know?
Oh, I couldn't beat any of you lot. You'll beat me. You'll beat me into the ground with a spade.
Yeah, Breezy is okay, I guess.
Yeah.
There is no team orders here, sir. No team orders. If he's got the pace, he's welcome to the challenge.
Okay.
That's what he said to his last teammate. His last teammate mysteriously disappeared.
Oh, I think he wound back up. I don't know what you're talking
about. Thank you, Damaso. We'll move on to you, Dougie. Mate, that was a bit sketchy on the intermediates for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah. I had a miserable race actually. Now thinking about it, looking back of what happened. Qualified P6 or something like that. Had an okay start. Safety car came out, so I was actually scared about the safety car because I didn't know what strategy to do because we all knew that the rain was going to come. We didn't know what lap, and it was kind of like guessing and preempting strategies. And the first time around, they didn't work out. I lost a lot. I lost like 2 positions because of it, and then my tires were just overheating for so long, and I didn't think I was going to make it to the end. So it was kind of fortunate to the end that I got a safety car, and then obviously the wet to intermediates was a very like tricky call because I think a lot of people chose wet tires because Breezy was showing amazing pace on the wet tires when he was catching a freeze, so everyone was like, "Oh, let's go wet tires." And I thought it did make sense because it was going to be intermediate conditions anyway. So I was like, I'll just get fresh intermediates and hope for the best. And I was hoping that the front 4 had the intermediates. I didn't know when Breezy pit for the intermediates, by the way. So I thought he stayed out on his wet tires. So I thought, oh, that was just kind of a chance. But ultimately, second place. Happy with that. It was one of the things where I just didn't expect. I just didn't have the raw pace, so I kind of needed the luck, I guess. So, second place keeps me within touching distance. So, there you go.
Mathematically, you are, as you just mentioned, still in the championship hunt, and you've been on the podium now a million times this season. At what point are they going to rename it the Dougie Falcon Rostrum?
I have no idea. To be fair, it's been us 3 typically to be on the podium, me, Freeze, Breezy, but I don't know. I don't know when I'll name that to Doggy Falcons, but it's been nice getting decent podiums. It kind of shows that I have good pace. If I practiced a bit more, I'd be higher up, but hey-ho. Yeah, kind of excited for Brazil, and hopefully be a podium there too. So there's that.
Well, we can always see what happens next week. Now, let's talk to the man who lost the championship lead in one race, then he gained it back. Joe,
Howdy.
what did you have for breakfast this morning? Because I want it.
Well, Freeze suggested Red Bull, but then he said I couldn't have Red Bull, so it made me a little sad. He said I had to drink the Coca-Cola energy drink, which I'm not drinking that. So I decided to go with pre-workout. I don't know if you've taken pre-workout. That had a nice kick to it, I must say. No cereal, though. No Wheaties.
Take us through that race, though, because at one point, we were worried that it was going to be a Sea Freeze run away job.
So, I obviously, yep, like Dougie said, everybody saw the rain. We immediately switched for the wet setup. I was a little bit sketchy through quali because my PB was significantly faster than that. So I was a little worried. I was a little worried that Freeze was going to be right up there next to me again. He tends to have insane pace. So I was definitely a bit worried. But he had his altercation with, I believe, HVAC, which I was rooting for Talon the whole way around his last lap. We saw that he was a couple tenths up. I was like, please separate us. I need a gap. I need a gap. I always mess up lap 1, and he always gets really close to me, and I didn't want to get stuck in a DRS battle with him. So by that happening, it definitely gave me a breather at the start of the race that I normally don't have. So that was quite nice. Other than that, quali went pretty well. Me and Damaso definitely practiced the toe here. The toe was significant. It was worth like 1.5 tenths to 2 tenths depending on where you did it at, so it was definitely worth. So everything went relatively well. Race. So the race was just judgment calls, like perfect judgment calls to go in when I needed to. It just worked out. I didn't really have any great indicators other than just feeling. I was like, okay, I feel like I gotta stay out, or all right, time to go in. So I had Damaso's help the first pit stop. He went in a little early because we were gonna double stack if we didn't. He was not outside the time that a double stack would occur. So he went in a lap earlier than I was expecting to go. And he said it's not ready yet. It just wasn't ready. So he was cooking his tires. It just wasn't right. So I stayed out another lap. If it wasn't for him, I might have pitted then. Who knows what would have happened. So I'm really thankful for my partner there, hooking me up with the strategy call. After that, going to the wets was just a judgment call. I knew that intermediate times were coming soon, but to be honest, if it wasn't for that safety car, the wet tire was just dominant. It was dominant, so it was definitely worth going for. I could see that Freeze was struggling hard. People behind me on the intermediates were falling back quickly, so it was definitely worth going for. The safety car definitely caught me out. I was like, no, why did this happen right before I caught up to Freeze? I was like, I need to get around him before this happens, and I couldn't. And then I knew that safety car was going to happen. It was going to be intermediate time, just based off the start of the race. So I followed C-Freeze in. I assumed we were both going to go to intermediates. It was going to be tough. It was going to be tough to make that pass with, I honestly thought I was going to have 3 laps because the safety car stayed out a whole extra lap more than usual. But he decided to go in for the wets. Everybody around me was on the wets. So at that point, it was just make the pass as soon as I feel I have the grip and I know that no one can really fight me for it. And to be honest, I feel like Freeze kind of, I don't think he fought me for it at all. I don't know if he could or not. I'm sure the wets could have struggled a little bit, but I don't think he tried to. I think he kind of let me by. So I'm appreciative of that. I'm not getting wing damage, trying to make the move happen. So, but anyways, long story short, amazing strategy call, great team effort. It was awesome. I'm super happy for Tommaso to make it onto the podium. You know, I was there helping him along the way the last couple laps, just giving him penalties and things like that. So I was trying to help him out at the end. So I'm super happy for him. And you know, round of applause for my dude Tommaso. All right.
Thank you.
Please, I hope it happens again at Brazil.
At what point, Joe, will you feel that you can securely say that you have one hand on the championship?
I cannot.
You can't at all? Or you
I can't.
won't?
Freeze. Dude, he's with me every race. He's with me every race. His pace is right there with me. His qualifying is insane. Really, his only downfall is his race starts. He has some malfunctions with his wheel, if people don't know. So he does have a very difficult time with race starts, and I take advantage of that. I get ahead, and it definitely gives me a head start at the beginning. It's won me a few races, to be honest. I'm not going to lie about that. But his race pace can be pretty insane. I've gone through all the tracks that I feel like I have the advantage on race pace. Pretty much the rest of the circuits that we're going to be at are kind of in his hands. So I cannot. I do not feel like I got this one by any means. I think we'll be fighting all the way to the end.
With this though, in the team championship, you guys have had a serious bout because you were level with Toro Rosso at the start, but you two being on the podium, this has seriously blasted you guys back into contention for the Constructors' Championship. I think Haas had a pretty terrible race, and I'm not sure what the stewards will say, but I can tell you that Gotu Guy and Kyochin, something happened on the last lap because both of those drivers retired. So the only point scorer for Haas today was Zandamart. Do you think you could possibly have 2 championships this time round?
Wow, you know, that's a tall order. I hate to put that pressure on Tommaso, to be honest, so I'm not going to. Yeah, it's possible, but I'm not going to put that pressure on him. I'm going to focus on the Drivers' Championship, and that's what I'm going to focus on. You know, obviously I want both me and Tommaso to do well. We practice pretty hard together. So, you know, we'll try to make it happen. We'll see what happens. Make Zach Brown proud.
Tommaso, take the pressure. Tommaso, take that pressure.
I'll take the pressure. I think we can win the constructors, to be honest. But I need to keep performing. So because Goto and Sander are both really fast. So if I do good, the team will do good. So I think it's possible for sure.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm itching for the next race now. What do you think, Doug? Are you itching for the next race?
I am, yeah. Also, I need to play a point. I was going to dedicate my podium to Secret's mum because she's not feeling well.
Oh, is she not?
She's not. So I was going to dedicate it to his mum for that podium because obviously he messaged me before the race that he was having a hard time. So yeah, so that was I forgot to put that in. So I was going to do it now or whenever. But yeah, I am ready for Brazil. And shout out to Secret's mum and hope she gets a speedy recovery.
Yeah,
so.
we all hope that Secret's mum gets better.
Exactly that. But yeah, I'm excited for Brazil. So.
Alright. Well, that'll do for the stream. Next week we're heading over to, well, what should be a classic Grand Prix in Brazil. Make sure you join us for a week at Interlagos, starting off on Tuesday with the Silver class, Wednesday with the Golden class, then I will be returning, hopefully to start the stream on time, on Thursday with the Platinum class. Thank you very much for watching this enthralling Grand Prix. I've really enjoyed doing commentary on my own for all of you. Thank you to the podium sitters, all 3 of you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, acknowledge me, god damn it! I was sat here for an hour and a half.
Sorry, I'm drinking this champagne, alright?
Give me some, come on. Thank you. And thank you to Secret's mum for being nice and giving
Yeah,
it
sorry, I
Secret.
would give it to you, but I had to donate it to Secret's mom.
Yeah.
I hear champagne does wonders.
It does.
Exactly.
Have a very good weekend, guys, and we'll see you next time. Ta-ra!